Hello, welcome to the Two Chicks Homestead Podcast. We are the Two Chicks. Yay!
Hi, I'm Nate.
And I'm Erin, and we talk about homesteading and living on a small piece of land.
All right, everyone, welcome to episode 43.
Yep.
Trials and errors.
Yep, we're going to talk about just some new stuff we're doing in a new area of, I guess, homesteading and podcasting and being a content creator and all that fun stuff.
Yep, juggling all the fun stuff and then trying to make things.
Yeah, and make some money.
And make some money, yep.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, really, when it comes down to it, that's what everybody wants to know.
Right.
How do you do it, and how do you make money doing this?
Yeah, how do you live off, which, I mean, but that's not our goal right now, because that's, like, way ahead.
But every podcaster's got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Every homesteader has to start somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like, we started, and I think everybody starts with selling stuff that's produced from all the work they're doing, you know, from the land. Mm-hmm. Even if that's knowledge or produce or rabbit foot keychains or, you know, whatever.
You market stuff and you see how it goes, and not everything is a success, and few things are, so we're going to kind of talk about some of that stuff. Right.
And I do not hide the fact that I am a very anxious person. And I think it's not worth hiding. Like, it's just, it is what it is.
Right.
And when you get to know me, it's a huge part. Like, that's like the base of every issue I have, is that I'm anxious about it.
Right.
And so it's like when we're selling something, I have a really hard time, especially with people that I have looked up to and I respect in the community, and I see them as, like, you know, so far ahead of us, and they want to buy something. I want to say, don't worry about it. You've given us a lot of information. Just take it.
Yeah.
And you can't always do that. And I think that maybe sometimes they lose a little respect.
Yeah, sometimes I can see that. I mean, you hear a lot of people say, don't give things away for free, and
because we worked for it.
Yeah, charge what you think is fair, and that's
my problem, is I don't know.
Right.
Or they ask, you know, like, how much do you want to charge for this, or how much would you charge to do this work? And it's like, like,
I know.
I don't know.
There's one thing I've heard over the past couple of years of dealing with the people we've dealt with in the circle and listening to them and following their content. If you are uncomfortable with the price, that's the price you want to be with. If you are comfortable with the price, you are not charging enough.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I always think, like, well, there's people that have been out there doing it so much longer. They do so much better. They have better labels. You know, they've got fancy containers. And it's like, well, why would someone buy my stuff if they can just buy someone else's that's been out longer?
Right. And that just goes, you got to do it you got to market it somewhat different.
I mean, that happened when I discovered that we had elderberry bushes out back. I started saving those, and it's like, shoot, I'm going to start selling elderberry syrup. Even though I know there's a million people in the area that sell them. Like, shoot, well, what's the difference? They're there. Yeah. I didn't buy them, and everything else you make with it, I have.
Right.
And so, I mean, I started posting about it, and I was, like, overwhelmed.
Oh, yeah, you got flooded.
Yeah.
And you had to, like, stop.
Yeah, it was like, I'm done for the season. And it was awesome and nerve-wracking. Like, I turn everything good into a stressful situation. Like, oh my God, how am I going to get this done? And now this year I haven't even done it, because it's like, I remember that stress.
Right.
And it's like, I feel like maybe I wasn't charging enough, and then I start thinking about the other people that see it. They go, well, the heck, lady, you know, like, we know how much work it takes. Why aren't you charging enough? And so,
right, and that is so many different things, like different aspects of business that you see that, like all the drone stuff that I used to do years ago.
Yeah,
it was always race to the bottom. You know, my brother's got one; he can do it cheaper. You know, it took me a couple $100 to even show up and get the drone out of the box.
Right, because you had the expensive drone, you had the license,
Right.
and people didn't realize that you needed
Right.
any of that stuff.
Exactly, and trying to teach them that, is a different story.
Yeah.
But we're not here to talk about
Right.
that kind of stuff. This is stuff that we're currently working on, or stuff that we've worked on in the past.
Yeah.
So, I know one of the big ones, the trial and the success was the rabbit feet.
Yeah, and that was like, now I regret all those rabbits that we processed, that we left the feet on, and it was like, oh gosh, we could have sold that many. But they sat on Etsy for like a month.
Yeah.
With not really a whole lot happening, and then all of a sudden,
they're gone.
They're sold out.
Yeah. Yeah, we have one left to give away for Brian over the Lots Project, his deal.
Yeah.
So he's going to get that.
And when he gets 1,000 subscribers.
1,000 subscribers, and I think he's getting pretty close.
It was 8 something.
Yeah.
Before.
So that'll be kind of fun to see how that goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the feet will go in there. We do have a litter of kits now, so we got 6 so far. They're doing okay. So that'll be 24 down the road.
Yeah.
So.
And the comfrey salve too. There's people around here that sell that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. We tried to advertise it as, well, we freeze dried the leaves.
Right.
Because it locks in. And now we can see the difference, because we have freeze dried it and we've hung dried it.
Yep, and
dehydrated it.
Yeah.
And they look completely different.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I need to take a picture
of
the difference.
Yeah.
Because you freeze dry those leaves and they are beautiful.
Yeah, they're still green.
Green and fresh looking.
I have a jar here on my desk, and for everybody on TikTok, this is what a jar of freeze-dried comfrey salve looks like.
And it's beautiful. And the stuff that's been hanging is like kind of brown.
Yeah, it looks like death warmed over.
And it's like, wow, this is going to be going on somebody's skin.
Right.
So I don't know if that, I put that on our Etsy ad, but no one has said anything like, wow,
Right.
freeze-dried comfrey salve is better. But it just makes me feel better that we've got something that's
we
above.
Freeze dry the comfrey and then
put it in the
oils and all that stuff,
Yeah.
and it works out really good. It's a really cool color.
Yeah.
Comes out like a nice bright green.
Yeah.
And when you look at some of the others, it's like a real dark green, or like a pale darkish gray almost. I would say I've seen a couple of them.
Yeah, I don't know.
The one that you got, I think, looks a little kind of grayish.
Yeah.
For, a couple years ago, I don't remember.
But anyway, we're not trying to sound like we're bashing anything. But it was just one of those things. It's like, well, that's a cool idea to
market it. Yeah, we have this $3,000 machine that we can do things with,
and it takes like 4 hours.
Yeah, exactly. And you just go rip a bunch of leaves down and throw them in there and hit process.
Yeah. But it took me a long time to figure out a price.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I thought I had it, then we have to talk about shipping.
Mm-hmm.
And, shipping has gotten expensive. I'm sure everyone out there has noticed that.
Yep.
And, of course, that's when we get into the shipping business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
so as a little behind the scenes sausage, anybody that ships first class with a tracking number is anywhere from $3.90 to $4.11 an envelope.
Mm-hmm.
And that it depends on where it's going in the country and how many days it's going to take to get there. So if it's like 3 days first class, you're looking at 3 something.
Yeah.
If it's going to California, which is a package we just did today, it was $4.11 for tracking for 4 ounces, which is not that much weight.
No.
That's, a couple of patches. That's a tin of comfrey or 2 tins of comfrey, and it adds up.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's nobody's fault, but it's got to be paid.
Right.
You know, and it can't all come out of our pocket.
Right.
You know, if you want it shipped, you expect to pay for shipping.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So you got to play that game too. And you got to try that out. You know, sometimes your stuff might be a little bit higher because you have some shipping in there.
And I know in the first couple of orders on Etsy, I'd had the price set and had the shipping as what, $4, I think?
Yeah, it's $4. Yep.
And someone purchased it and said it was an amazing product, but the shipping was high. And it was like, yeah, but I gotta pay, you know, price the product in a way that makes it feel worth it and still have shipping. So, I mean, really, I just kind of moved money around and brought the product price up and brought the shipping down, and
it evens out.
But you know, if it works,
it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, there's many companies out there that just charge priority flat rate, and if it fits in the box, it ships. It doesn't matter if it's an ounce or 75 pounds.
Right.
It's the same price.
Yeah.
So.
And this is it. Like, it's just us.
Right. And it's just us on a laptop and us on an iPad, and you know,
we're printing the labels from our little dinky HP printer upstairs and cutting them to size, and
exactly, which we do need to get a label printer one of these days. We should look into that.
We have to sell more patches to pay for the label.
That's true. That's true. Label printer and the what is it? Heat, I think, heat labels or something. It just spits them out.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll figure that out. So.
Next level.
Right. Then we got to get business cards and stickers. We do need to get all business. That other fun stuff. But that all comes in time. You know, right now, every single time we do an order, we print out. You have like a sheet of orange business cards. That go
I mean, I just printed it on construction paper.
Right.
'Cause that's what we have.
Right. So right now they're orange, and the next one they could be green or pink or brown or.
Well, maybe not brown, because that might be kind of hard to read, but. Yeah, I do need to sit and do business cards, because that's not that expensive.
No.
It's just doing it.
Right, and it's getting that mindset in your head and go, okay, we need to get a little serious
because
about this.
I mean, business cards could bring in orders. You know, if someone just is talking about it, hey, you don't need to buy right now, but here's where you can find me. Yep.
Put our link tree on there and a couple QR codes and call it a day.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's not easy, and I feel like I'm ripping people off. But I mean, you compare what we're selling to what thousands of other people are selling, and it's all in the same thing. I mean, like the patches, we used to be in the patch game, like heavy. Yeah. Like we would be buying and selling patches all the time.
Yeah, like this. So we have a backdrop for anybody on TikTok. We could drop this backdrop, and anything that's behind this thing, you'll see 3 walls of Velcro on the walls and patches everywhere.
Yeah, I should post it on our page just to show just a outside hobby of. It's not so much anymore because
we've actually emptied it out quite a bit. And there's still 1,000 patches on the wall,
but they all mean something, and they all. Kind of have a memory attached to it. So when we ordered our patch, this isn't just something that's like brand new. Like we went through a maker that we have purchased many patches from.
Yeah, I have several hundred of his patches here.
And we kind of know the prices we bought, and ours are not expensive. I mean, they're pretty much on the cheap side compared to...
Ours are on the lower end, so we're selling them currently $11.
$11 on Etsy.
Yep, $11 on Etsy, and then shipping with that is a couple bucks. $2. So for $13, that is the lower end of the so-called quote unquote patch game, where we've seen stuff as high as 75 a patch.
I don't know about new.
Yeah, new. Would
be 30 maybe.
Yeah, your standard grade was like 30, but once you got, there were a couple. So like I have a full size short barrel rifle behind me.
Yeah, those are. I mean, that's not comparable though.
That thing was $120, brand new.
Yeah, and yeah.
But you get into some of this stuff, and it's like everything here came in a bubble mailer. And everything was $3.50 to ship it.
Yeah.
No matter where you were. It was always, you'd see these sales pop up, add $4 for shipping. Because you got to buy the envelope, you got to
print it out,
drive
to the
off.
post office.
Yeah. I mean, we're lucky that our post office is under a mile away. But if we lived any further out, we're driving 10, 15 miles to the post office.
Yeah.
So, that is what it is.
So, yeah, I mean, doing the patches was a good idea. I mean, it's if they sit, they're not going to go...
Right. That's the one commodity we have on our website that is not, quote-unquote,
that it could go bad.
Yeah, that it can go bad. It's shelf stable. So
it's well preserved.
Yes, well preserved. And they came out great. We can show them here on TikTok so everybody can see them. That's what we ended up ordering. So it's our logo, gold chicks, green leaves, black lettering. It came out really good. The guy that we worked with spent a lot of time with us and really helped us out with that. So those will be available on our website. So that'll be twochickshomestead.com for the main website. And then there's a link for our Etsy on twochicks.ittybitty.tips.
Yep.
So you can go check those out and we'll get them shipped out to you. We got 100 of them on hand and we're looking to maybe sell a couple of them.
Yeah. So this kind of was covering some trials and errors that we've done. And so speaking of the elderberry syrup, I want to try and freeze dry some.
Right.
So that I can have it shelf. Because once you make it, it's only quote unquote good for like 3 months.
Right.
So I want to try and make it so that it was always available. Just add water, add your, even if someone buys it, add your own local honey. That will even make it better for you.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, well, I'm pretty busy today. I'll try it in the Instant Pot. So I did it. I put it in the little molds I have it in the freezer. Went to go make some more to fill the rest of the molds. Tried it, and it was awful. Like, I'd never made it in the Instant Pot before. I'm like, this is going to be so easy. I don't need to stand and watch it boiling. It was terrible. So my biggest mistake was I didn't try it the first time. With the berries still in there. I took all the berries out, strained it, got rid of them, and discovered it was not disgusting.
Yeah. It's all right. I mean, it's a trial and it's an error. You got to try it.
Yeah.
So I think from now on, you're probably just going to stick with boiling it, right?
Yes. Yeah. I don't know what... Your idea probably made the most sense, that not enough liquid boiled off.
Yes.
And that
'cause it's got to be a syrup.
It's got to, be half of what was in there, and it probably was just too watery.
Right. You could make it, but it's not the potency that you want.
Yeah, it didn't have that nice, rich feeling. So now I know. So we got to do it again.
Yeah, it's like boiling down the maple syrup.
Yeah. Yeah, that... Speaking of errors. Yeah. We got 6 5-gallon buckets of syrup. So a sap
yes.
last spring.
Yes.
Went to a couple workshops. Came home, and it was all gross.
Yep, it was all molded over and...
Yeah, so we didn't get any syrup this year.
Yep, but we still have some from last year.
We do.
I think there might still be a 5-gallon bucket that might be 3/4 full in the garage right now that still has some in it.
Of sap?
Of sap.
Ooh.
I might have to get rid of that.
Yeah. So this year, our plan is to boil it as we get it. Yeah. And just, that's what we're doing.
Because I actually learned, as you are working on sap, that you need to stop pulling sap out of a tree when it gets cloudy.
Yep, because then it needs to work on the leaves.
Right. So as soon and that was the problem we were having. It would get cloudy, and it got cloudy. Like most of the buckets that we got were pretty cloudy.
Well, no, they were clear at first.
Yeah, maybe half of them.
Yeah, well,
but they were starting. I definitely see the progress where it clouded up, and that's when we probably should have stopped and just boiled it right away.
Yeah, but we were greedy And
Yep.
we just kept taking the sap and
Yep. So we'll have to get the fire going earlier outside. Get our aluminum sap turkey fryer
yep.
out of the shed and just freeze our butts off outside and do that.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, every year you do something and it turns out you get cocky about it and then it doesn't work and
Yep.
then you go, okay, nature.
Yep. We've made
I
plenty
will
of mistakes.
step back and follow the directions.
Absolutely. I mean, we've made plenty of mistakes here and there. Elderberries, this recent elderberry one was, but that sapwood, that was the main one
That
we
was
made.
like heartbreaking.
Yeah, that was definitely a shot.
Yeah, because we sold a lot of that last year too. So it was kind of like...
And we gave a lot of that away.
Yeah, we did. Which that's not happening this year. That was one free ride.
Yeah, that was, I was talking about it on the repeater to the couple of the guys.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, we want to try some.
Yeah. Okay, cough it up.
Yep. So, yeah, our sap is probably one sap you will never find because it's never the same year after year.
Well, yeah, I think that's with everything. And that may be even now. I mean, we may, if we do it in steps or in separate buckets, we may not even have any of the walnut in that one.
Yeah.
Or it will only be walnut. That will be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be really interesting.
I don't really know if then you mix all the syrup at the end,
That
or you just
would
bottle
probably
it
be a
up
good idea. Save the syrup and then mix it,
and then
blend
mix
it all
together.
at the end of the season.
Yeah, so that it all is the same.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I never really thought about that.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll save it and we'll blend it at the end of the year.
Yeah, and then bottle it and
Sell it.
Put it in jar. Yeah.
Yep. So we got plenty of people in the area that can come by and get some if we end up doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, if we do, 30 gallons, breaks down to what, less than a gallon?
Yeah.
Of sap?
I mean, it's not a lot.
I think it's 40 to 1.
But the sap that we make, you only need a little jelly jar.
Yeah.
Because you're taking drips.
Yes, you
Pretty
only
much.
need
It is
drips of this
so-
stuff.
It's so rich and delicious.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really good. So Little House on the
Right.
Prairie, they would do molasses and brown sugar on their pancakes. And so we did our syrup and brown sugar, and it was
Really good.
really, really good.
Yeah, like the girls like that.
Yeah.
They actually ate that, and
Yeah.
they don't even like that syrup.
So yeah, that's another thing. I mean, we do a lot of this homemade stuff, and sometimes our kids hate it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I spent a whole afternoon making homemade hot cocoa powder that I saw on TikTok, and my little one hates it. She wants the store-bought stuff. Same with I mean, she will eat my pancakes.
Well, guess what? That Swiss Miss tin is going to be full of our homemade
I
stuff
know,
when
right?
it's empty.
Here you go. I do. There is something off about it. I need to figure out how to either make it chocolatier or sweeter or something. So it does need a little tweaking, but it's
Okay.
still pretty good. But
well,
yeah, she's like, nope.
Give it a shot.
She would rather drink the Ovaltine, which is pretty bad.
Yeah, that's kind of surprising.
That was like the worst stuff
Yeah.
I ever tasted.
It is what it is.
There's other. Oh, my bagels.
Yes.
She wouldn't eat my bagels. She loves bagels. Would not eat the homemade bagels I made.
Probably because they looked weird.
I guess.
I mean, they tasted fine.
So I gotta try a different recipe.
Yeah, we'll get
So
there.
yeah, I mean, homesteading kids are still kids. They want the sugary cereals.
Oh, yeah.
They want the frozen pancakes
Well,
sometimes.
the oldest actually had Honey Nut Cheerios with our freeze-dried.
Freeze-dried fruit on it. Yes,
Yes.
she will eat that. The older one will pretty much eat anything. It's my little one that I can't base anything off of what she likes or dislikes because we wouldn't eat anything.
Right, she doesn't like any of it.
We would eat noodles with not probably homemade butter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no homemade noodles or homemade butter. It'd have to be like whatever those, I mean, just store-bought boxed
Yep.
spaghetti.
Yep. Yep. That was lunch today. It was beef and noodles, right?
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Beef and macaroni.
Yeah, out of the can. Yeah. That I did not can. Yeah.
Aldi.
Chef Boyardee still shows up in our house. Canned goods are canned goods, right?
Yep, exactly. So what else you got? I know there's the.
Well, we did the bacon.
Yeah, we did the.
And that we don't do a whole lot of crazy stuff with that.
No, and we've gotten really smart about it because it's a lot of money. Mm-hmm. When we make our bacon, so we process one hog every year, and then the following weekend we make all the bacon.
We did half the bacon.
Half a side. And this year we just went real simple with it. We did the pink Himalayan salt and brown sugar, and then vacuum sealed the bag. And then you flip the bags once or twice a day throughout the week. And that worked out really good this year.
Even with Thanksgiving, I had room in the refrigerator.
Right. Well, I mean, we forced you to have room in the refrigerator.
And my whole refrigerator smells like smoke.
Yep, exactly. So we hickory smoked it yesterday for about 7.5 hours. Came out real good. Smells good. It was done all the way, so... We got busy today and didn't cut it up, so we'll have to slice it tomorrow. We got a brand new slicer for that, so we'll have to try it out and see how it is.
Yep.
That was a Black Friday purchase.
Yeah, well, we needed it. We'd been borrowing the neighbors for like 4 years now, so.
Exactly.
That and the mixer. We got the mixer to make the Italian sausage.
Yep. And they're both Lincoln Outfitters. I think we talked about it last week.
Yeah.
Ended up getting it on early Black Friday. Came out real nice and cheap.
Yeah. I had made, back in August, wild lettuce tincture, which I discovered from Josh, the Renegade Butcher. He said that people would use that like in place of aspirin. Tylenol, something, pain relief. And so... my brother just happened to be, maybe he had someone stop by and said, "Oh, you've got wild lettuce. Can I take it?" And he's like, "Sure, it's a weed. I was going to mow it down." She's like, "Oh, no. It's amazing. It works with pain relief and you can smoke it and it kind of, does whatever. So then I think I brought it up and he was like, "Oh, yeah." So I went over and got a bunch of things and made a tincture, and I completely forgot about it. Yep. And so it's been in some vodka since August. So I need to strain that and test it.
Yep, bottle it up and see how it is.
See how it is. If I'll never feel pain again, or
we'll see
or how strong it is.
I mean, it's something that I know you've been talking about, and we were able to do it. Yeah. So we're going to see how it goes this year, and hopefully it works.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, I know the first batch that we did, the first trial batch was too short.
Well, yeah, I had it in the vodka for maybe 24 hours, and then I strained it, and then I read that you're supposed to, leave it in for longer, and now it's been
forever.
For a long time. So I have one that's like really light, and then I've got the heavy stuff. So
so I'll be very interested to see.
You might be able to break your leg and not even feel it. I don't know.
We'll see. We could go test a trap out real quick, see how that works.
No. So that's that. I did find out that our local butcher sells tallow, which I may be saying that wrong. I don't know if tallow is only rendered beef fat.
Right.
And it's just called beef fat. Like is it pork fat and then after it's rendered it's lard? I really don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So I rendered a bunch of that to make with salves, and then I'd like to do soap. Yeah. But I need to get past my fear of doing the lye.
Yeah, well, I mean, the best way to do it is jump in both feet.
But I was reading it and it sounds kind of a little scary.
People do it all the time.
I know. I was just reading we're reading Farmer Boy from Little House on the Prairie, and they literally just did that, so yeah, they didn't die.
So we'll have to give it a shot. And I know it was in the Going Home series. Dad makes soap.
Yeah, I need to figure out what kind of stuff you need to shape the soap, because it says once you use anything that has lye in it, you cannot use it ever again for food.
Right.
So you need all separate utensils, and stuff. So,
which totally makes sense because that stuff's pretty
but
nasty.
that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
To make soap.
You have been talking about
I
it
know.
for a very long time.
I know.
And I think I've told you many, 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 many times just to frickin' do it.
I know. That's the anxiety.
I know, exactly.
Analysis paralysis, they say now. That didn't exist. That phrase did not exist.
No, it didn't, but it was still there.
It was still there, yes. But now there's a real word for it.
Exactly. I mean, I still have it too. I can look at a whole bunch of different stuff and get worried about making that leap, so.
Yep. So, I mean, yeah, all you can do is try it, and it'll work, and then it won't work, and you'll swear a lot and waste some stuff and try it again.
Yep. Feel bad about wasting a whole bunch of stuff.
And then you'll make that sale, and it'll all be worth it.
Exactly. And then you'll keep on selling and run out and go,
Shoot.
oh, shit, I got to make more.
We do have the deer legs.
Yes.
There's in the isopropyl alcohol.
I will be
That
very
if you
interested to
follow
see.
us on TikTok, you saw the video of that.
Yep.
So that will be a future project that will take a little bit of time.
Yeah, I think we're minimum 2 weeks.
I think
It's got a week in the
week in the alcohol, and then
a week in the
approximately a week in the borax. So.
yeah, and then I got to figure out,
then-
and then we got to let it dry,
Yeah.
and then I got to figure out what the heck we're doing with it.
Yeah. Well, I know what we're doing, but we'll.
Yeah, I know what we're doing too, but the next step on how to, I have to figure out.
Yeah. So
It'll be fun.
it was a fun Thanksgiving.
Yeah, because we literally did that Thanksgiving Day.
And it was, I mean, my parents and my brother came over and pretty much looked like we were pickling deer feet. So.
Yeah. It was the centerpiece on the table for a couple hours.
Hey, they're lucky we didn't serve rabbit. So.
Yep. I remember I brought him in, and you looked at me and was like, "You're really going to do that right now?"
I mean, yeah, the turkey was out and all this stuff. But then I was ready, and I cleaned them, and...
Yep. Yeah, so the turkey went in the oven, and then...
the deer legs came out and went in sync. So.
Yep. It's all in good fun.
Yep.
It's never a dull day. There's
No, that's
so
true.
much shit we do. And it's oddball stuff. Like, I'm still amazed that we do some of this stuff.
And, yeah, none of it makes sense sometimes. And it's crazy to think, okay, what just happened before this? And how did I get to that part? And what happened before that? And to go back and see the progression of how did I get here? Like, how am I seriously washing a deer hoof in my sink?
On Thanksgiving Day,
On
after you just put the put the turkey in
At
the
least
oven.
it wasn't before.
30 minutes later, you had your hands down the skin of a turkey,
Yeah.
stuffing it with butter and sauces.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's crazy.
It's,
But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a project that we don't know if it's going to even work.
Yep.
But we're expecting who knows how many legs coming after our neighbor comes back from hunting camp.
Yep. He's down at
Because-
deer camp right now.
Because now is the time. We can't decide in the middle of summer, shoot, I want to do this with deer feet. I mean, who's going to have them? Nobody.
Yeah, exactly. And it's going to be, I think there's 8 or 9 guys going down there, 3 tags apiece, if they can bring them back. So yeah, you're looking at 18. I think we got last year, or they brought back last year.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's
I
a lot
know.
of feet.
64 feet.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, we'll see. I think they might be a little big for keychains.
Yep, we'll figure it out. Though.
Yeah, like. Oh yeah, it could be anything.
Well, those would be really good for like the boat keychains or the mower keychains. The stuff that's got to be real big.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Light pullers.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. All right.
Bathroom keys at the gas stations.
Oh well. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. So what else you got on your list?
That was it.
That's it?
Yep.
All right, well, pretty easy week this week. So we'll keep playing around, seeing what kind of trouble we get into. And we'll catch you guys next time.
All right. See you on the homestead where something is always growing, eating, or cooking.